What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That, of course, is the Freddie Mercury puppet. We are back, of course, with another banger of an episode. It's what we do. It's what you've come to know and expect, and we ain't about to let you down now. Before we get down to said episode, I will, as I do every episode, address the proverbial elephant in the room. You're probably looking at the smoldering good looks. How could you not be? You're checking out the long, luscious blonde locks. You're only human. I will confirm for you that, yes, all this beauty right here is the byproduct of being the one and only love child of one Diamond David Lee Roth. Now it's out there, and now we can get down to brass tacks, which, as I promised, is another incredible episode of Pod Scum. Before my guest gets in here, I will, as I always do, give you my obligatory promotional spiel, because as you all know, I've said it time and time again, if you have a podcast, you got to pimp it. Despite it being a Monday, my pimp hand, there it is right there, is feeling very strong. So let's give it a shot. Make sure to tap in with Pod Scum on Facebook. Our handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Do not be confused. I have two separate podcasts that I'm promoting on there. That's the handle, Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Same with our Instagram, Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. I've dumbed it down for you. I've dumbed it down for me. I need things dumbed down sometimes. So there, made it easy. Haven't switched up the handle. Nothing fancy, no tricks. So tap in with us on Facebook, tap in with us on Instagram. And most importantly, if you're here right now watching, this is where you need to be. This is where you're going to get your meat and potatoes. These incredible conversations that we have. So if you are here right now watching me, watching you, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and most importantly, make sure to find that notification bell up there in the upper regions of your screen somewhere and smash it so you will be privy to when that new content is dropping. And as you all know, and maybe some of you don't, but now you will, new content is coming your way every single week. Sometimes it's an episode, sometimes it might be multiple episodes, depending on the productivity of that particular week, how much content we've amassed. But as you guys know, when I get it, I like to roll it out to you guys because, you know, I'm a fan too. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I can't wait. I can't sit on episodes. I like to get them out to you guys and share them. That's what they're meant for. So again, tap into us on Facebook. On the Facebook page, I do more than just promote the shows. I like to put up newsworthy, noteworthy things that pop up on my radar. If I think that you guys want to be kept in the loop and informed on whatever I see, I will stick it up there, whether it's happening in the boxing world and in the fight game, or if it's in the music, arts, entertainment, rock, metal world. So again, it's more than just a promotional tool for these podcasts. The Instagram, I'm trying to give little snippets, little reels of these conversations for you people that only have those 60-second attention spans. I feel for you guys, but you do exist out there. There is a demographic of people that might not be able to handle the long-form conversations. And so if you need to get you a little poignant section of these conversations, I try to do that for you guys. Gratis. And my guest is here now, so I can finally shut up and we can get down to brass tacks. So here we go with another amazing episode. Let's do it. Hey, Chad, what's up?
What's up, Mark? How are you?
Good, man. Hey, I don't know if you were doing it. The last time I had you on, were you doing a podcast back then, or are you fairly new to the podcast world?
I've been doing a podcast called The Gracious 2 for about almost 2 years now.
Okay, so you probably did have it back then. How do you find podcasting? How's your podcasting journey going along?
I'm digging it. I mean,
yeah,
it's I just have fun. And there was, in the past when I was in the band, there was never an opportunity for me to really talk. So
right.
It's nice to be able to talk about stuff that I like to talk about. And I'm having fun with it.
And so what's your format like? Do you have guests, or is it just like you and a co-host just kind of expounding on your views and opinions on stuff?
We start the show off with the co-host and I go on, talking about our opinions, and we talk about all kinds of stuff, politics and ancient history, all kinds of things. And then we'll have a guest on. So we'll do that about 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll have a guest on for the remainder the hour, basically.
And does the guest usually tend to be from the music world, or it could be from any number of different genres or fields?
Yeah, any fields. Like we've had musicians on. I've had Dave Cruzen on. I've had Jason Pierce from Our Lady Peace, and Larry Hankin, an actor, has
Okay.
been on. We've had on scientists, and then
Okay,
a
cool.
lot of live fans have come on too and just talked about their experiences with the band and stuff. So yeah, it
Okay.
varies.
Cool. And so I kind of want to go back to the beginning, because I don't know if I asked you this the last time, man, but typically when I interview musical artists on here, a lot of them have that common backstory of growing up in households where there was a lot of music playing and or maybe musically proficient parents. Was that the case for you?
No, that's not the case. I mean, my parents played music. I remember, listening to music in the car and stuff, but neither of my parents were musically proficient at all. My mom likes to take credit because she played the accordion, but
Yeah.
I never saw her play it, right? No real musicians in my family, which is I think unusual.
Yeah. And so how do you gravitate to specifically to the drums, man? Was that your first choice of instrument? Because I know a lot of times musicians on here will kind of allude to the fact that sometimes the instrument even chooses them.
I think it's more that the instrument chose me. Like from a very early age, I was always interested in drums and like drum sets. And so every year for Christmas, my mom and my dad would buy me this little toy drum set. And so I messed around with that until I broke it and would inevitably destroy it. And we had a family friend who had a real drum set up in his basement. And I would always go over there as a young kid and look at it and like sit down at it and bang on a little bit. And then when I turned 12, so I like always had this inherent interest in drums. And I turned 12, I had a neighborhood kid had a yard sale and had a drum set for sale. It's like $150. And so I told my mom I wanted to buy it, and we got together $150, bought it. And then I just set up my room and just friggin' played to anything I could, play to for years, just sitting there, just playing the records and whatever I could play to. So.
Do you remember the first album that you really felt like proficient, like you were really in the pocket and playing along to? Like, was there a specific album, like where you really started to say, wow, I'm actually sounding like this. I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah, I mean, so my biggest influence, and one of my favorite bands is U2. My biggest drumming influence is probably Larry Mullen Jr. And so, yeah, playing along to Sunday Bloody Sunday and a lot of those classics from War. That's where I started to be like, oh man, I can play this stuff. Felt really good about it.
Yeah, certainly you can understand, man, because I'm in upstate New York, and you're originally a York, Pennsylvania guy, correct, man? So
Yes, sir.
This time of year, the cold weather is moving in on us right now. So I'm sure you can harken back to many rough Northeast winters.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's getting
to be that time of year here.
Yes, yeah, no, I remember it very distinctly. I usually come back for Christmas with my kids back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm back there quite a bit, actually. So I haven't been back this fall, but I'm back there quite a bit. So I like seeing the change of seasons. I love when it snows, like when it's actually snowing. I freaking love that. Yeah.
And so over the years, when you played drums, and I've talked to other drummers on here who have had to change the height of the stool or the layout of their drums because of different aches and pains and impingements and shoulder issues or back issues. Have you experienced any of that?
No, I've been very fortunate with that. I've never had any arm problems, shoulder problems, nothing so far. The biggest thing that I had happen to me, it actually happened in my kitchen. One of my daughters threw some macaroni and cheese on the ground, and I slipped in that, and I severed my right tricep tendon about 90%.
Yeah.
So I had to recover from that. And that was actually right when we were doing the reunion it happened in 2017 when I did that. So
that's not a good injury for a drummer.
No, not at all. That happened on a Wednesday, and that Saturday we were supposed to play this big festival out in Pasadena called Arroyo Seco. And so, we found a drummer that could play the parts, and I just played one-handed and sort of ran the show. So we did that for a long time, like for quite a few months until I was healed up. But yeah, so I've never had to change heights on my drums or anything. It's just, like I said, I've always been very fortunate. No injuries or prolonged injuries from playing the drums.
Yeah, because I think people don't really understand, man. The physicality involved sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you have to be basically an athlete to play drums,
You
especially
do.
for a prolonged period of time,
Yeah.
especially for cardio. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by Throwing Copper because in my mind, it really truly is a masterpiece of an album. Not to impugn any of
Thank
the
you.
other albums, in your discography or whatever. But when I happen to be listening to the album the last time on my Apple Music, when you go down past the lyrics and everything, it gives all you guys credit as writing the songs. How involved were you specifically in the creative process, or was that just something you guys did as a band, kind of the old one for all and all for one type of attitude?
There was a little bit of that one for all for one kind of thing, but also, I mean, Ed or Chad would bring a guitar part, and if Ed brought a guitar part, he'd maybe have some lyrics or some melodies already sketched out, but like they would bring the songs, like a song idea to the band, and then we would sit around and hash it out, like, and figure out arrangement and like maybe put a bridge here, and we would all figure that out kind of together. Ed, of course, wrote all the lyrics and melody. I would never say anything different than that. Chad wrote a lot of guitar parts that became a lot of our #1 hits. And Patrick even contributed some stuff on the bass, like TBD started with his bass line from that record, So like I said, we'd all sit around, and they didn't become live songs until we all kind of put our little personal touch on it and maybe helped out with the arrangement or said, so it was all a collaborative effort at that point back in those days.
I don't think many people realize that Throwing Copper, though, was not your second album, but actually your third. There was one out under Public Affection.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I'm looking through these band names. So you guys started out as a trio as First Aid.
Yes, correct.
And then Action Front, Paisley Blues, Club Fungus, and then Public Affection. Who's taking credit for some of these names?
Oh, First Aid, Chad, Patrick, and I came up with from the beginning. We all played in the school bands. I didn't play drums in the school band. I played saxophone in the school bands, and Chad played trumpet in the school bands. And Patrick played a plethora of instruments. Patrick is the most gifted musician in the band. He can play a lot. Play on anything basically. But anyway, so we came together, and our school music teacher put us together. His name's Don Karn, who he just retired from teaching music in public schools this year.
Wow.
So all these years later. So we graduated from high school in 89. So in 1984 is when he got put us together. And we needed a quick band name because he wanted us to play the talent show in middle school, in our eighth grade year. And so we came up with First Aid. And then after that, Paisley Blues, I think, was Patrick. Club Fungus was Patrick. Public Affection was me, because I was in the hallway in high school in like 11th grade, and I had this girlfriend, and I was kissing her in the hallway. She's like, "I hate Public Affection." I was like, "That's a great name." So we became that. And we were Public Affection until after we made Mental Jewelry. We were in the studio in 1991 making that record. We made the record. They were getting ready to press it. They were going to put out the EP, 4 songs, and it was like 2 weeks to the deadline. And they're like, "Okay, you guys got to change the band name. We're not putting this out as Public Affection. You got to come up with a band name." And so I think Chad had a dream he saw live on a baseball cap, and he brought that up, and we're like, "Yeah, let's do that. We'll go with Live."
And I think the amazing thing is that musicians, when you're playing concerts, when you're out there, it's referred to as playing live. It's amazing that Live in some way, shape, or form was not taken as a band, right? That's pretty amazing. Or was it?
Not that we ever knew of. No, I mean,
that's mind-boggling to me.
It is pretty mind-boggling. Yeah, but what was interesting about it is, like, when the internet came, it was really hard to search us.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true. And so when you guys started out as First Aid all the way back when, and you're doing that talent show, and you guys are a trio, this is this is pre-Ed, right? So who's doing the singing at that point?
No, we didn't have a singer. We did that talent show as just an instrumental.
It's just an instrumental. Okay.
And we actually won the talent show. So
that was gonna be my next question. That's good. And so another thing I want to know about Throwing Copper is how does Jerry Harrison of Talking Heads end up producing it?
Well, so he produced Mental Jewelry as well.
Okay.
So the connection with that was our record company president was named, the guy who signed us was named Gary Kurfürst, and Gary Kurfürst is a legendary manager. Managed Talking Heads, Blondie, Thompson Twins, Jane's Addiction for a while. He managed a lot of the Ramones, like a lot of very legendary bands. And so when we got signed to Radioactive Records, which was a JV deal with MCA Universal, basically, Gary said, "Hey, Jerry's going to be your producer," and we're like, "Okay, great."
Yeah.
Talking Heads, Jerry Harrison, yeah, that's cool, and so he became the producer on Mental Jewelry. We recorded Mental Jewelry in Milwaukee because Jerry was living in Milwaukee at the time. And then Throwing Copper came about. And we're like, yeah, we did a great job. Had a great relationship with Jerry on the first record. Let's do it again. And we did pre-production in Milwaukee, and then we recorded in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, in the same studio where Nirvana had recorded In Utero.
Yeah.
Right before us. Yeah, it's called Pachyderm.
Yeah. Another thing that infuriates me sometimes, not really so much infuriates me, but and I just watched it again last night in anticipation of our conversation. It often, I don't think, gets the recognition that it deserves. And there have been a lot of great MTV Unplugged, but you guys, MTV Unplugged was really, really incredible.
Thank you. Yes.
We always hear about the Alice in Chains and the Pearl Jams and the Nirvana Unplugs or whatever, man. But oftentimes, I feel like you really got to have chops to to pull off the Unplugged. Looking back, and it's been 30 years. You guys did Unplugged in 1995. What do you remember about that performance? And was it different playing Unplugged? Is it harder for a musician?
No, listen, when you're a new, back in those days, when you're a new band, you're going around to radio stations and wherever you can, like we were going to radio stations, record distribution plants, all these places, and we were playing acoustic all the time. Yeah. So I was playing mostly bongos in that situation, but like when we heard we were asked to do Unplugged, we're like, this is freaking great. We were very excited about it because of all the Unplugged performances that had come before us.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just a matter of, I'd switch to Hot Rods and got to play my normal drum parts, but a little bit softer. So it wasn't a big stretch, but it was it was really a great honor to do, especially at the time. It was very kind of a coveted thing to be asked to do.
Yeah.
And we were very super excited about it. And the reason our record company wouldn't let us put it out at the time. I don't know why. There's some bullshit politics going on with it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because almost everybody else has kind of got parlayed into an actual album.
Right. They wouldn't. The MCA Universal will not let us do it. I'm not sure why.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm glad you brought up, all right, you kind of segued into it, man. And I hate to dredge up the past, but for fans that might not be, in the loop of everything that's going on, there's obviously been a lot of litigation, all that kind of stuff. And where are we right now? Is all that dust with the whole live camp kind of settled?
No, not right now. I mean, we had a litigation back in 2009, 2010.
Okay.
When I decided to go do a solo career, and we were fine with that. But there was a whole publishing deal that we had. He had taken, and he had promised to pay us a certain amount on it. And when that money came in, he did not. So when the breakup came, we're like, well, we tried to talk to him about it, and he just would ignore us at that point. So we went through that first litigation. We settled that in 2013, got that all behind us. And then around 2016, we started talking again through a good friend of ours named Bill Hines that kind of helped us to get back together. And so we did the reunion 17, 18, 19. And then we had 3 shows in 20. And then, of course, COVID came. And then there was a lot of stuff going on with a business that the 3 of us had started with that friend Bill Hines, and that kind of bled into taking up a lot of our time. Of course, COVID was still happening. 21, 22. Ed came to me in the summer of 22, and he's like, "Hey, I was kind of battling Chad Taylor in a different business thing." So that kind of happened. Chad and I are talking again. We're friendly again, which is cool. But anyway, so we kind of got past that. But anyway, so that came to me in 22 in the summer. It's like, "Hey, you want to? I want to kick out Chad, and I just want to go on tour." And oh, okay, I'll do that. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me try to get Patrick involved, because I think 3 of us rather than 2 of us would be better. And so we started talking to Patrick, and then basically, shows got booked, money was on the table, and Ed calls me back and he's like, "Hey, listen, I don't want the drama on tour, so you're not going to come with me." I was like, "Oh, okay." So, I mean, basically used me for my vote to kind of get control of the band and then basically kick me to the curb is basically what happened.
Unreal, unreal. Uh, do you have any idea when he's saying, "I don't want the drama"? Like, were you just puzzled as to what he was referring to?
No, I wasn't puzzled about it. I mean, I understand that part of it, but it was the drama between Chad and I, the drama with the
Right.
whole business thing that was going down. I understand that, but like drama, what do you think I was going to bring it up on stage while we're playing a show? Like,
Right. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right. Like, you don't
yeah,
seem like this is something that's going to, as you said, like bleed into the actual performances and into the music and what you're out there on the road trying to do.
yeah. I think it was less about the drama and more about he saw an opportunity to take control of the band.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And so I would be remiss, I guess, and I wouldn't want to hear about it in the comment section if I didn't ask, but because everything that's old becomes new again, man, has that ship sailed, or would we ever possibly see the incarnation of live that we know ever on a stage together again?
I like to say,
is it one of those never say never type deals?
I was going to say never say never. I don't know at this point right now. Probably not, but
yeah,
who knows what will happen in the future?
Yeah. And it's crazy to think, right? Because like the four of you guys, man, start out making music, and then all that stuff starts to get in the way. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's sad, really.
It is really sad. Yeah, I mean, we were four brothers.
Yeah,
With a common goal back in the day, and everyone was working for the same thing. And then it just gets all convoluted with ego, and I did this and you did that and you didn't do, like, just bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous. So, and
I know you only made one album with him, man. But what did you think of the album that you did with Christian?
Oh, I really like that record. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that record. Chris is a great guy. He's friggin' awesome. Great musician, great singer. Really fun to be around. But we made that record with him. It was a tough slog just to get it out and do a little touring for it. Well, we had a good time with him, and we had discussed with him when he came into the band, like, listen, there's probably a time where Ed comes back, so that will probably happen at some point.
Yeah.
And so when it did happen, he kind of took it in a very negative way, and we were just like, well, I mean, we talked to you about this, and I mean, I think you can understand why we're doing this, but so it was unfortunate the way it ended, but like I said, I love Chris. I thought he was a great guy and a great singer.
Is it hard to move on with the band because, like, and again, like, not to impugn, people that actually play instruments in the band, but sometimes it seems like a band gets pigeonholed and is instantly recognizable by the vocalist.
For sure, yeah.
Is that a hard transition to make, and is it hard for the fans to accept it?
Some fans accepted it, some fans didn't. I mean, yes. So, yes. I know the intrinsic value of the lead singer being the head of the band. I get that, being the guy up front. I understand that. At the time when we brought Chris in, we just kind of like we just wanted to go play the songs. Like, we were sitting around. We'd done the Gracious Few with Kevin Martin and Sean Hennessy, and that was kind of short lived because that was a slog as well. But it was fun. I'm really proud of that record. But and so at that point, we're just like, oh, we want to go out and play some live songs. Like, who can we get to sing?
Right.
That's what we did.
And so what are you doing right now these days? Anything on the music front for you?
My main focus musically right now is I started a YouTube channel playing drums, and I played the live songs. That's what I'm doing right now as far as music goes. I've been talking to Chad maybe about writing some stuff together. We'll see what happens with that. But my main focus now has been I own part of an agency on TikTok, so we're onboarding brands on the TikTok. We're signing up creators, all kinds of stuff like that. So been concentrating on that.
What's the nature of the videos? Are they more like tutorials? Hey, if you want to know how to play these songs.
That is why I did them, but I'm not like speaking through. I'm just playing along to the song, and it's a way for a drummer to hear what I'm playing, but also see exactly what I'm playing. So it's a 3-camera shoot from different angles. And they can see how I play the songs, and that's why I did them.
And now, when you say you're writing music or possibly thinking about getting together and doing something with Chad, you know, being as that everything you've gone through, you know, what I mean, with the litigation, with all that stuff, you know, has it kind of soured you on the whole band idea, or are you still receptive to being, you know, to being in a band with, you know, 2, 3, 4 other guys?
I'm not sour on the concept of a band or doing that. But it's been a interesting road the past few years, so I'm soured on just I guess music in general.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just it's been a very rough road in that sense. Like you know, 'cause it's something that I loved doing. I had a passion for so many years, and now it's just been all convoluted and fucked up by all this bullshit that's happening.
right, right.
And then you know I I basically put my trust back in Ed, and then he fucked me over for it. And I'm just like, okay, wow, that's so it's definitely a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And so are you at liberty to say at all, or is it too much in the embryonic stages as to what you and Chad are up to?
It's too early to even
Too
say.
early?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
no idea. Yeah, yeah, just kind of talking about it. So
So the podcast thing, you said you've been doing that for a couple of years. You know, it's a creative outlet, you know, in some respects, maybe not the same as music, but does it scratch
yeah,
the creative itch for you because you are a creative person, you are an artist, you know, is it as fulfilling or fulfilling on some level?
it's not as fulfilling as like we're sitting down writing drums to you know a drum
Yeah.
part to a cool song that I love. It's not like that, but it is fulfilling. And like I said before, like you know, it gives me an opportunity to talk to people, have guests on, express my opinion, talk about things that I want to talk about, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like where the music world is right now? In terms of like, I don't know if you're a physical product guy, if you're a streaming guy. Obviously, the music industry has gone through some
Oh,
seismic changes. I mean, it's
yeah.
absolutely crazy nowadays, man. You know, in 2025, do you like where we are?
So I mean, in some aspects I do, in some aspects I don't. Like I love the physical product. I love getting a record, you know, sitting down, reading the lyrics while you
Right.
listen to the songs and stuff like that. I mean, I guess you can go online and look up the lyrics now. On the other hand, I think it's an amazing time because some guy with a computer and you know a couple instruments can get their music out onto YouTube, and
Right.
whether it blows up or not, it's still out there. Like you have these huge forums where you can put your music out on
Right.
your own terms and do it yourself, you know. So that's really cool.
What about these TV talent shows, man? Do you think we can find music stars from these? You know, The Voice, American Idol. Are you into these? And like, you know, is this a viable way to find like our next like, you know, musical stars?
I think it seemed like it worked early on with like Kelly Clarkson and a couple
Right.
others, but like
Yeah.
after that, it seems like it's not very viable anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like this population contest, and like you know, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, what it's just funny to me what these things are because it concentrates solely on singers and like you know,
Yeah.
there's some singers with amazing talent, but a lot of people can learn how to sing,
Yes.
and they're not writing their own music in most cases. And that to me is always like, you know, okay, you can be a great singer, and then anybody can write a song for you. It's just like, yeah, that's cool, but you know, where's your actual musical talent? Are you writing your songs? Are you doing like I mean, I love Taylor Swift is amazing. She writes her own music. She's a great performer, friggin' huge, obviously. So I have a lot of respect for her because of what she does.
But we don't really have the standard uh, infrastructure of the industry anymore and the record labels. Yeah,
Right.
you know, and I feel like you know, I feel like with those behind the artist, man, you know, that was you know, and the money and the promotional behind them, you know, that was how we churned out the Madonnas and the Princes and the, you know what I mean? Like, where do
Yeah.
those big stars come from, man? Like, will we see stars like that again?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it's because it seems like, you know, people can break out on TikTok or people can break out on Instagram or YouTube. And it's like, do they get to the point where they're filling arenas or even stadiums?
Right.
And I don't know where those, if or where those artists will come from. You know, it's so there's it's a great thing, and on one hand to have that access to put out your music like that, but there's also then like there's so much noise out there, so much content, so many
Yeah.
things to look at. and it's hard to concentrate somebody onto a great talent that could become a Madonna or a Michael Jackson or even I think Coldplay or something like that. So I don't know where it's going to come from. That's a good question.
Are you interested in, if you were to do music again, at this stage, in your own personal life, are you interested in the whole, the whole slog that goes with it? Are you interested in being like a touring musician again and being back out on the road again? Because I know maybe that narrative might change as you get older. Maybe you don't want to be away from your creature comforts as much. You know what I mean? Is that something that's still interesting to you?
I don't miss the road. I miss playing, but I don't miss the travel.
Yeah.
As I got older, I have kids now, and so the being away from them was hard, but also just the slog of traveling and, getting on the bus and getting off the bus at 4 a.m., checking into the hotel, trying to get back to sleep. It was just draining and not something I don't know, really was enjoying especially on the last tours we did, with the reunion. So, I don't miss that part of it. I do miss playing. I'm
always going to talk up Throwing Copper, man, because I love the album so much. But for you, when you look back at the live stuff, maybe your answer won't be Throwing Copper. Where do you feel like you guys were as a band at your creative high point? Where do you feel like can you point to a part of Live's career and say, here's where we were really, really firing on all cylinders?
Throwing Copper definitely is there, but for me, my favorite record, Secret Samadhi from us.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, I felt like we took what we learned from Throwing Copper, and then we got a little more dark with it, like Lakini's Juice and stuff like that, and Freaks. Like those were some of my favorite live songs. But I mean, listen, you have a giant success like Throwing Copper, and then I just feel like we were firing on creatively more on all cylinders on Secret Samadhi, but it wasn't as commercially successful.
And Throwing Copper is really like a masterpiece. But you're right, man. Secret Samadhi is like fucking like low key, fucking an album that gets fucking slept a lot. I think maybe just because there is so much focus on Throwing Copper and everybody knows the Eye Alones and the lightning crashes and all that stuff. But so if you can remember when you guys were it was proficient like that and really hitting on all cylinders, what was the song crafting like? How was a great live song born? What typically came first, a title, a riff? How are they usually born, these songs?
Riff was usually first. Like I said, either a guitar riff that either Ed or Chad brought in. Sometimes Patrick would bring in a guitar riff, or like I said, a bass riff. Yeah. And that's how every song started. There was a rare occasion where Ed would bring in like a guitar riff or like a chorus, like a verse and a chorus with maybe some melody to it. Sometimes lyrics, usually not. They would come later. Yeah. But mostly it was riffs, just getting in a room and vamping on a riff. Yeah.
Now, you were kind of hung out to dry in the Eye Alone video. Exactly what were you doing in there? They didn't give you a drum to play, man. So they kind of just hung you out to dry and just kind of said, hey, Chad, move around, dance around. What was the instruction there on the Eye Alone video shoot?
So we did 2 or 3 passes with drums on that set.
Okay.
And the important thing to point out is that that slow-mo effect was made by playing the song double time. Right. And then us performing to it, right?
Okay.
So we had the drums on the set. We went through it like 3 times, and I'm playing like super, double fast, and everyone's moving around. And after the 3rd take, the director's like, I just don't like the drums on the set. I was like, I just think we should take them off. And I'm standing there going, okay. Well, I literally was like, well, what the fuck do I do? He's like, just dance around. Just get out there and dance around. It's like, I fucking hate dancing, but anyway, okay, I'll go for it. So that was like 2 takes of that, and me dancing around, being an idiot, and that's what we got. So it was more.
That's a hard pill to swallow, man. As a rock drummer, for someone to come to the video set and say, "Hey, Chad, dance around."
Right. And like on the record, I had sung some backups on. I sung backups on Throwing Copper and Mental Jewelry, but
I
was like, okay, well, I'll sing my backup parts and run around. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. And I also love the Gracious Few stuff too. Do you wish there was more of that? Was there ever a plan to do more than that? I mean, I know Kevin obviously and Sean, have got Candlebox. You know what I mean? So obviously, like they have like a pretty big gig themselves.
There was never a plan to do a second record. We were concentrating heavily on the first record, and we had we were self-financed. We had some financing lined up that fell through like right as we were getting ready to go on tour for that record, and so that was a big fucking problem. And
Yeah,
just being on the road for that was tough. We were in a tour bus where we were staying at like campgrounds and stuff, which we made fun. It was kind of a fun thing, but it was like
yeah.
slog. And so that kind of ran its course, and then we kind of figured Kevin would head back to Candlebox after that, and that's what happened, and that was cool.
And
so we had a good time.
And so what was the big break for live? You know what I mean? Like, we just all of a sudden saw live, it feels like anyway, just on MTV, you know what I mean? The 90s, the grunge era, you know what I mean? All those bands were like everywhere, man. But do you remember like what really broke live? You know what I mean? Like how live really burst onto the scene, man? Like, you remember what the big break was, or what you guys felt like the big break was?
Yeah. So we made a video for our first singles, Operation Spirit.
Yeah.
And, we had, it got put into Buzzbin on 120 minutes, like right out of the blocks. So
yeah.
that was the big break. We actually, I've told the story many times, but we watched that video debut on MTV with Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl from Nirvana, because we were staying in the same hotel back in 1991 in San Francisco. The same place called the Phoenix, and Nirvana was staying there. We saw Kurt, and they had already started to really blow up,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there was no cable TV in the rooms. So the only place with cable TV was in the lobby, and we saw Chris and Dave. We were like, "Hey, our video's debuting. Come watch with us." So
yeah, that's a big deal, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super cool.
And now it's funny that you bring up Kurt, because obviously, like back in the heyday of the band, you guys are traveling, doing festivals, travel all the world. Have you got to meet any of your heroes, or has there been a moment where you met somebody and it would really blew your mind? Like, holy shit, I can't believe I just met that person. Did you get to rub elbows with anybody that really impacted you?
Well, most of I've met everybody in U2 except for Larry Mullen. So
okay.
Yeah, early on. So the co-owner of our record company, this guy named Ian Flukes, and he was based in England. He was a big booking agent, and he and Gary were partners on several things. Gary Kurfers, and so he was U2's booking agent. So when the first time we went to London, we ended up going to a house party at Ian's house, and like The Edge and Bono and Adam were at the house. And so we got to meet all those guys, which was great. And then but Larry didn't come there, so never got to meet Larry. Got to meet Larry in all these years. Is probably the only guy that I want to meet, but I've never got to meet him.
I mean, to this day, still haven't met him. He's eluded you to this point.
Yes, so far. I went to a show in '93. They played in Philadelphia, and our sources got us tickets. Didn't expect to go backstage, and then we all, we're sitting in the crowd, and all of a sudden the security guard comes and brings us backstage passes. We're like, cool. So we went back, and I saw The Edge and Adam, which is great because I love those guys. But no Larry.
Where did Larry disappear to? He seems like a phantom.
He is kind of a phantom. Apparently, he's like, he's the guy that's, he's the most elusive guy in the band. Apparently,
maybe he's not as much into the whole social networking type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He plays the shows and he gets the fuck out. Yeah. And then later on, like Matt Cameron from Soundgarden. I love Soundgarden, so I got to meet him a couple times. Dave Grohl, of course. Got to meet him many times. He's a great guy. Chad Smith, Chili Peppers, a few times. So yeah.
And so you're mentioning a lot of drummers, man. So are these guys? I know you mentioned Larry Mullen, but are there other guys who you feel like have impacted your own playing style? I know you're mentioning a lot of guys, but these guys almost feel like, outside of Larry Mullen, who's been at it quite a long time, these guys feel like your peers, though. Maybe they, maybe they were in the industry a little ahead of live, but are they drumming influences, though? Who would you say has impacted your playing the most outside of Larry Mullen?
Outside of Larry, I mean, yes, they all like. So 91 Nirvana came out. You started to hear Pearl Jam as well.
Yeah,
like I had Dave Cruzen on my show, so he's a great guy, great drummer. But I mean, so yeah, Matt Cameron, I was a big Soundgarden fan, so it probably doesn't reflect too much of my playing, but there's a couple of licks that I ripped off from him for some things. So he was definitely an influence. But
For people that might
Larry
be,
the most.
and for people that might be wanting to go Google Dave Cruisen, he was I believe he was well, no, I think it was Matt Chamberlain and then Dave Cruisen, but there were guys before Matt Cameron and Dave Abruzzese.
Yes, Dave Cruisen played on 10. He's the drummer on 10.
Right.
So
right.
yes.
Yeah.
But as far as other drummers, like were influences, like Tony Thompson was an influence because of the 80s and like Power Station, like because we were big Duran fans, and then they did Power Station, a couple of the guys and that was cool. And then Manu Katché and Omar Hakim, who played on like Sting records and stuff. That's kind of where I learned like my ghost notes and stuff from those guys. So more jazzy from that side of it. So yeah.
Was there ever a time when you flirted with doing anything other than music? How early on in life did you know and kind of set your course for, I'm going to be all in with music?
That course was set probably like 10th grade.
Okay.
High school. So I was interested in medicine and stuff when we were in school, and probably by our end of our junior year, going into our senior year, we decided, we had started writing original music at that point, and we're like, we're going to try to do this. And so all through our senior year, we were writing songs and really committing to doing that. So everything else kind of fell by the wayside at that point.
And so now the formula must be very different. We just talked about it. Like you can make your own music. You can do a lot at home. You can even put your music onto the platforms, as you said. Whether anybody gives a shit or not, or listens to it, is a different story. But what was the early road like for live though? What was it like? Just getting out, playing little shitty clubs, and really paying your dues. Is that how you guys kind of got your legs underneath you?
Yes, there weren't a lot of venues around York, Pennsylvania, so we would often play over in Lancaster at a place called the Chameleon Club, which is now closed, but it was, pretty important in our career. Rich Ruhoff was the owner back then, and he would have national acts there. Like we opened for Pixies one time in 1989 at the Chameleon Club, but we would play there a lot. He'd have us over there all the time to play. So we were cutting our teeth there, and then our whole focus was just to get a record deal. So we were constantly going to New York, playing at CBGB's. We played CBGB's a ton before we got signed, and that's where we got signed. So that was our whole aim, was to go to CBGB's, play for record companies. We played for a ton of them, and we eventually got signed out of CBGB's.
And who was the one who took the chance on you guys and signed you?
That was Gary Kurfürst. It was called Radioactive Records.
Okay.
And like I said, it was that joint venture with MCA Universal.
So you're playing in Lancaster. Is it a lot of Amish turning out?
No, they don't come to shows, but yeah.
They don't come to shows.
Yeah. So the Chameleon Club had its own kind of cult following, just because it was such a great music venue, and they would have national acts. They would do local acts. They do all kinds of live music. So it kind of had almost a built-in audience in a way, but a lot of people knew about it. So
yeah. Do you remember a live show? Of course, you just mentioned, that you've seen U2, but that might not be the answer. Do you remember you as a fan going to see a live show that really resonated and stuck with you? Did anybody really blow you away live?
Well, yes, the band that blew me away the most that I finally got to see in 2020 was Tool in January of 2020.
Oh yeah.
I got to go watch them. I'd never seen them play live, and the thing that obviously amazing musicians. Danny Carey's like, I think Danny Carey is like one of the best rock drummers, prog rock drummers ever.
Incredible. Yeah.
And since Neil Peart has died, I would say he's taken the torch, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, so just to watch them, and just their off time stuff freaks me out anyway, because I'm like, how the fuck are they doing? Where's the one? What are we doing here?
Right.
But the biggest thing about it was watching Maynard not stand on the front of the stage with the spotlight on him, like, I'm the lead singer, look at me, blah blah blah. Just to see him slinking around in the background, belting out these lyrics in the dark, and you can just concentrate on everybody else. Watching Danny Carey, the visuals of the show were just really cool, and the playing was immaculate, and everything was great. So
that's probably a rarity too, man, because you do, you make a great point right there, man. You do see a lot of lead singers, man, and front men. They do have to kind of make it about themselves oftentimes. Yes. Like the fact that it's like the fact that he's back there, like as you said, slinking around in the dark there, and kind of letting these musicians kind of take center stage and be showcased. It's kind of nice.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Just like I said, you could hear, obviously you can hear him singing his amazing vocals, and he has a great voice, obviously, but he's not in the front with like the spotlight on him, like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm the lead singer. Look at me.
Now, do you get a chance to get out and see a lot of live music these days?
So there's not a lot of live music. I don't like being in crowds.
Yeah, I hear
So
you there.
It's
Yeah.
the rare band like a Tool or a U2 or an STP that would pull me out to go actually be a punter in the crowd. It's funny because I say that to people all the time. They're like, you don't like being in crowds. I'm like, well, if I'm playing, I'm not in the crowd. I'm I'm backstage. I'm on the stage. So no, I don't go see a lot of live bands, just to answer your question.
And then what about bands that live back in the day got to play with, man? Do you remember a particularly memorable tour or like like a great bill that live was a part of?
Well, like I said, that first national act that we opened, we were big Pixies fans. We got to open for them in 1989. We were just out of high school, so that was really freaking cool. That was the first like big national band that we opened for, and we were big fans.
Did you guys ever do a Lollapalooza?
No, we were not. Well, we did Lollapalooza when I think it's still going on in Chicago. We did that in 2017, but back in the day, we never got asked to do Lollapalooza. No,
Weird. Seems like you guys would have been a great fit for a Lollapalooza.
Yeah, never got asked to do it. And so what else? Who else did we open for? Well, I mean, we opened for, we went, our first big national tour was with Big Audio Dynamite and Public Image Limited, right? Yeah. So that was interesting because those guys are old road dogs, most of them. Mike Joyce from the Smiths was playing drums with PIL. Yeah, it was interesting. So I got to meet him. We were big Smiths fans. But just to be on tour with Johnny Lydon and Mick from the Clash is amazing, right? Yeah. For your first tour, and they loved us, and they were great to us, and we were the kids. And that was with Blind Melon as well. Blind Melon was the first. Blind Melon was first. We were second, and then PIL, and then Big Audio Dynamite.
Yeah, so, what a great band Blind Melon was, man. Yeah, a fantastic band. I've gotten the chance to have Roger Stevens on the podcast before. Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys. Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys. And so now, well, no, I'll ask you first before I get you into promoting your stuff. If Chad Gracey's on a desert island, is there a desert island album for you? Do you have a desert island album, a go-to album that would resonate with you that you could just like live with till the end of time? If it was the last piece of music you could take with you?
Probably for me, it would be Joshua Tree.
It would be, yeah. Joshua Tree's a pretty damn perfect album, right? It is. Yeah.
To me, it is. Yeah, I love it.
Why does it stand above the other YouTube albums? For you, man. Why does that album speak to you specifically?
It was because as we were deciding to be an original band, that record come out in '87, so that was right in the time where we were like, that record inspired us almost as a collective to do music, like to go and be a band and like try to do this for a career. Yeah, because that record was huge. They were all over the place, and we were just like, man, this, I think we could be like you too. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, it seems like a common theme that runs through your music, though. There does seem to be a very spiritual feel to a lot of your music. Is that accurate to say? That's accurate. Yes. Ed was very into spiritual lyrics. He was, the first record, Mental Jewelry, was basically inspired by a guy named Krishnamurti. Yep. Who was and he's always been like not kind of Western religion, more of Eastern religion inspired. Yeah. So yes, it definitely is a vein in the music for sure. And so the podcast is sort of like a play on The Gracious Few, right? The Gracious Two. That's correct. Yes. And I'll put a little shine on your co-host. Who do you co-host with? His name's John Rotolo. He had a podcast called Good Times Universe that I had done twice, and the second time he's like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds fun. Why not?" So yeah. Sure. We had a good time together. We have good interaction, and he kind of keeps it flowing. He produces it all and stuff right now, so he takes care of that whole end, and it's just he makes it easy and it's fun. That's what I gotta get. I gotta get a side guy. All I got is this damn Freddie Mercury puppet back here. That's what I need. I need a guy doing production and stuff for me. It really should be a 2-man act. It really should be. I gotta lighten my load a little bit here, Chad. You seem like you got it figured out. Well, as I
Yeah.
said, he came to me and asked me, so I was like,
You're
ah,
lucky, man.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so people can find the podcast where? Are you exclusively on YouTube, Spotify? Where are you guys?
We go live every Tuesday. So we're
Okay.
live on Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, and what else? One other one. But we don't go live on Instagram because the format's messed up. We used
Yeah.
to go live on YouTube, but we got some strikes. So we put shorts and stuff on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
So it's the Gracious 2 on Instagram, the Gracious 2 on Facebook. There's the gracious2.com.
And now, when
You
you say
find us.
strikes, what do you mean by strikes, man? How is YouTube fucking yanked your chain?
They yanked our chain because I've covered all kinds of different conspiracy theories and stuff, and so
Oh,
we were
there you
talking
go.
about
There you go.
yeah. We were getting a little into the vaccine, into the COVID vax, and like they didn't like that. So
How dare you? How dare you
I
exercise
know.
your First Amendment right on YouTube?
I know, it
Jesus Christ.
sucks.
What kind of country are you? What kind of country do you think we're living in
Yeah.
here?
Damn it! I thought it was free, but hey,
Yeah, well, yeah. Little did you know. And so, what about the drumming on YouTube? If people want to see how you play the songs, if people want to play along with you, if people want to learn how to play these songs, the multi-camera angle, all that stuff, how can people tap into that?
yeah, that's Chad GRACEY live on YouTube.
Okay, okay.
Just search that, and
That's
I
pretty
think
easy to remember.
yes.
Got to dumb it down for the people. See, I have a YouTube, I've got the YouTube, but then I promote it through my Facebook and my Instagram, and I try to keep it simple. Don't switch up the handles. Just keep it simple. Because I do the music podcast and I also do a boxing podcast, people have often come to me and said, "Why don't you have an Instagram for both and a Facebook for both?" That's way too much. Too much. I'm just going to promote them. I'm going to promote them both through one Facebook and one Instagram. That's all I got time for. Yeah. Otherwise, you end up with your nose in your devices 24/7. It's too much.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's too much.
I'm on Instagram. The Chad GRACEY on Instagram is my handle there. So
Chad
Chad
That's
GRACEY
what I was going to ask.
That's
what I was going to ask. So if people want to follow you, you are on Instagram, and so that's probably the best place to tap in. Where if anything is going to happen musically going forward or whatever, that's the best place to keep tabs on you.
Yes, there, and then TikTok. I'm fairly new to TikTok. I only have like about 4,000 followers on there, but yeah, that's Chad GRACEY live as well on TikTok.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, man, I appreciate you doing this, man. I always love chopping.
Hey, you're very welcome.
Yeah. It's a pleasure, man, always. And stay in touch, man. I'd love to do it again. And if anything has happened on the musical front, for sure, we'll get on here. We'll do it again, man. But always got a platform here, man. I love talking to you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks
good
so
to see
much.
you again.
Good talking to you, my friend. Thank you. Later, man.
Have a good one.
And there he goes, folks. The legendary Chad GRACEY, the man that was beating the skins on all those fantastic live albums. Every single one of them, actually. Really a shame that the infrastructure of that band kind of just, crumbled from the inside out, and it became what it was: litigation, problems, turmoil amongst the members, because, really a band that I just absolutely adore. Great songwriting, great albums, great musicians. I mean, I don't throw the word around. I don't throw the word masterpiece around very loosely. I do believe that there are albums out there that are masterpieces. Granted, plenty of them. Are they all going to come to mind right now for me? No. But I will make my claim that Throwing Copper, Live's 1994 album, is on that list, in that category, if you will. And not that Mental Jewelry and Secret Sonata and all their other albums are not amazing albums, but for me, Throwing Copper just really has a spot in my heart. I can go back to 1994. I can remember the times. I can remember hearing those songs. I can remember being excited about them as a band. I can remember, as I mentioned to Chad, their Unplugged 1995 is incredible. It's a shame that it wasn't made into an album like Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots and many of the other bands got to do at Pearl Jam, because it is every bit as great as all those unplugs. It is on YouTube. I would invite people to go watch it. Tell me what you think. I just watched it again last night just because, this episode with Chad and live was on my mind. What an incredible, I think it holds up every bit as much. It's every bit as great as all those other ones, the aforementioned ones that I just talked about. And listen, I love Pearl Jam. I love and worship Alice in Chains. Love Nirvana. Love all the bands that participated in that era in MTV Unplugged. But Live really put together a special one, man. It was really fantastic, man. And it's a shame that it often doesn't get the love that those other MTV Unplugged episodes gets, man. But man, what a fantastic episode. And of course, go back and check out Live's incredible discography. I guess there's still, if you want to call it, a version of Live out there right now. As far as I know, and from what I've seen on the internet, it is just Ed Kowalczyk, the lead singer. I'm imagining he's probably got some hired guns, some players around him. You know, maybe they've been in the band for a minute or a few years, and they've kind of become Live. But it's not the Live that I'm talking about. It's not the two Chads and Patrick and Ed in that lightning in a bottle that they captured back in the 90s. So it's a shame. You know, it makes me sad to even hear Chad tell the story. You know, obviously when bands get into the music business, they're excited, they're young. You heard Chad talk about it. Teenagers, York, Pennsylvania, you know, the excitement, the exuberance, or, you know, we're going to do this thing. And then to have it all kind of fall apart and go sour and see egos and, you know, all that stuff kind of interfere with it. It's sad. But really seems like Chad's in a good place. I encourage people to go check out his podcast, The Gracious 2. And as he said, you can check him out doing, I guess he didn't want to call them tutorials, but he is playing all those classic Live songs. You could probably learn a lot if you're an aspiring drummer and you love that kind of music, or you just want to learn from an amazing musician like Chad GRACEY. Tap into Chad's channel. He's on there, as he said, with the multi-camera angle. You can really dive in and see what he's doing. You can really see the mechanics and the technical stuff. I visited the channel. I think I checked it out after the first time I had him on the podcast. So he really does a fantastic job. So I invite people to check that out. And of course, as I said, check out his podcast and please dive in to those classic Live albums. They really are great. You know, if this is your first time hearing about Live, or through my podcast, you know, you're not familiar with their music, really take it from your boy Rexx. I never let you guys down. Go check them out, man, and start wherever you want. I'm gonna say start with Throwing Copper. It really is from top to bottom, truly a masterpiece. There's not a lot of albums where you can say the minute I hit play, it was great all the way through. That album, you most assuredly can. And, you know, that's just a testament to what a great rock band they were. Now I'll go into my obligatory promotional spiel. I think I got it all in before Chad got on here. I'll run through it one more time. Make sure to tap into PodScum on Facebook. Our handle, as you know, is Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. Both of my podcasts, one Facebook page. As I told Chad, I will not do more than that. I cannot do more than that. It is just too much. Enough of the social media. I'll carry one Facebook account. I'll carry one Instagram account. And therein, I will promote both of my podcasts. And that's it. That's the extent of what I'm willing to do as a 52-year-old man who wants to actually live his damn life. For God's sakes. So you can check us out on Instagram. I'm just venting and starting to sound like an ornery, stodgy old fuck. Maybe that's what I'm becoming. It is what I'm becoming. For better or worse, it's going to happen to all of us. And you can check us out on Instagram, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. And of course, if you're here right now, this is where I want your focus to be. Make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, make sure to smash that notification bell. This is where the amazing content that we roll out weekly, this is where you're going to find it right here. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be privy to when it's dropping. And I want you guys in the know. So, because I'm excited to roll this stuff out to you guys. As I said earlier, man, you know, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm a fan at the end of the day too. You know, I get excited to do the episodes. I get even more excited to release them and unleash them onto you guys. And so I appreciate my viewers. I appreciate my subscribers. And of course, at the end of the day, I appreciate my guests who ultimately I could not do this with if it were not for them. So, and again, today specifically, Chad GRACEY, just floored to be able to have another conversation with him, man. Such a great guy, such a great musician. So my utmost gratitude to Chad GRACEY of Live and The Gracious Few. And as I said, check out his podcast, check out the Live discography, check out Chad GRACEY's channel on YouTube, and you know, learn from one of the best. If you're an aspiring drummer, go on there and learn. That's what life's all about, folks. Learning and getting better at our craft. And again, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate the support for the channel, man. It means a lot, man. I'm always checking the analytics. I tell you guys all the time, we're always trending upwards. It blows me away, man. I'm just bowled over. You know, we don't always grow leaps and bounds, but we're always growing. And the analytics are broken down in increments of 28 days. And every time we're always trending upwards. The viewers, the subscribers, the watch hours. So the green arrow is always pointing up. So we're moving the needle a little bit every single month. So that's thanks to you guys. I appreciate you guys. This is your boy, Reckless Rex, reminding you, until we get together and we do this again, reminding you to take it easy and keep it sleazy.